Hi, everyone. My name is Jerome. I'm a director of engineering here at Shopify. And when I started my career in the late 90s, and Netscape was all the rage, as you heard this morning, I was building infrastructure to give high-speed internet access to people. And it's true at the time, like it was clear the internet was going to be big, but we couldn't figure out, how it would change, how profoundly it would change the world. Like the Sears catalog online was the best we could come up with, right? So when I joined Shopify, the App Store was still pretty small, and now again, like it's incredible the variety of apps in our App Store, and really you guys' creativity and how finding new ways to help merchants is really great. So for the last 2 years, I've been responsible for Shopify's financial systems. And of course, that means collecting money from our merchants, but it also means paying partners using the billing API. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So I'm here with Gary and Nick from our engineering team. Guys.
Hi, I'm Gary. I don't think I'd heard of a computer when Jerome was doing that. But I'm now a senior developer at Shopify. Worked with many of the APIs you'll see today. So I've been at Shopify for about 2.5 years now. Worked on many integrations with some of our partners. So.
And my name's Nick Hoffman. I'm a senior developer at Shopify. I've been here for about 2 years, a bit more, in Toronto. And I started off working on the Shopify.com website, rebuilding that from scratch. And then onto the Facebook channel. I was one of the lead developers on that. And also in growth marketing, trying to figure out how to 10x Shopify. And one thing I'm really excited about is the fact that I'm getting to share my experience and knowledge about how I integrated the Facebook channel, which is an app, and the billing API into that with you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. So what's the billing API, right? So the billing API is what allows you as an app developer to leverage the relationship we have, Shopify, with our merchants to make it easier to get paid. So you can focus on your app, and we focus on, taking money from merchants and giving it to you. And I'm really super excited today because we're announcing some enhancements to the billing API, which are going to allow you to charge merchants in new ways and really more flexible ways for you. So that's really exciting. So, you may think, is getting payments from merchants that hard? Like, don't I just get a library and take payments in a minute? Well, it's actually a bit complicated. And really the bigger deal is that if you put a credit card form on a sign-up flow, our research has shown that your sign-up rate is going to drop off by something between like 10 and almost 30% sometimes. Among the people who want to purchase your app, right? So, it's not surprising. It's I imagine it's like the devil on the shoulder. At the moment you're filling in a credit card form, it's like, oh, all these numbers to type, it's so complicated. You really want to buy that? Or maybe it's because, or if you're dealing with a merchant, it's a small business, and, the boss has a credit card and she's not in the office today, so you can't purchase your app. When you use the billing API, we don't ask for a credit card. The merchants simply have to agree to your billing terms, and it does not interrupt the flow, right? There's no friction between the time the merchant wants to use your app and just agrees to pay you for it, right? So this is really the key piece. The other side that we take care of is money collection. Now, if you have, a few customers, that's not a big deal. But if you're a bit successful, you can spend a lot of time trying to collect money. Credit cards expire, they get lost, they get stolen. Do you guys know what PCI compliance is? Right? So yeah, it's all these sort of security or I guess best practices to handle credit card data. Now, if you have a large volume, you got to sit down, every year with the PCI auditor to review your change management process, your code review process, your firewall rules, security upgrades, etc. It's really painful, right? So as you know, Shopify is pretty good at moving money around. We do this on behalf of our merchants. We do it for us as well. We have PCI level 1 certification, which is the highest you can get. And really, like, we do everything we can to collect money from our merchants. We warn them when their credit card is about to expire. We actually use an account updater, which sometimes the bank publish the new expiry date for credit cards, so we get that data. So merchants don't have to keep entering their credit card. We have backup payment gateways when some of them fail. We do a lot, right? So all of that work of collecting money, we take it on for us, and you don't have to do it. So it's much, much easier for you to deal with. The last bit is, entrepreneurs tend to be mindful of their expenses, and when you use the billing API, like your app is bundled as part of the Shopify charge, right? So on the credit card statement, the charge comes from Shopify, so they know what it is. If you happen to provide an app that is very useful for one employee, but then the business owner may actually not know that it's useful, they're gonna see the charge and say, oh, what's this? I don't think I need it. And then you gotta fight a charge back, which is a real bummer, right? So when you use the billing API, it's all part of the package. It comes as Shopify, and the merchants just know what that is, right? So what's really cool about the billing API is we have no set rules. You can choose to offer like as many levels of services, as many plans. You can really get the pricing that works for you. And especially after the improvements and the announcements we're making today, I'm sure you'll agree with me, like the sky's the limit. You can really do whatever you want, right? So by using the billing API, really what we do is we extend the trust that merchants have in Shopify to you, the app developer, and it makes your sign-up rate better. You're gonna it makes it really easy to get paid, so collection is not an issue, and you really get the flexibility in pricing, right? So speaking of getting paid, one question that comes up quite a bit is, when do I get paid if I use the billing API? So let's walk a bit through the process, right? So when you use the billing API, you start by creating a charge, but then the merchant accepts it, right? The merchant has 2 days to accept the charge. Usually they accept it right away within your flow, so they're in your app, they get redirected to Shopify back to your app. There's no interruption. But if they don't accept it right away, we send them an email so they can just resume their sign-up flow, and they have 2 days to do that. Now, once they've accepted the charge, it can take, and your trial period expired and you've activated the charge, it can take up to 30 days for the merchant to get invoiced, right? As I mentioned, sometimes collecting money is a bit hard, so it can take about up to 7 days. The vast majority gets paid on the first day, but it can take up to 7 days for merchants to pay that invoice. And when the merchant pays is when your portion of the invoice, that's your app charge, gets actually sent to you, and it's marked as pending and shows up in your partner dashboard if you logged in there. That's the moment where your payout is going to show in the partner dashboard as pending. Once that happens, twice a month, we roll up all the charges that are pending in your account. So on the 1st and the 16th of the month, we roll up all of these charges in a bill, and you see a new line on your partner dashboard, and we release the payment 5 days later, and so 5 days later, you get the money in your account, right? So everything that I talked about then resumes, like every month, you get your regular payout. The only variance really is in the beginning, depending on when the merchant charge gets added compared to what their billing date is, right? So that's really how you get paid. And last year, we paid our partners $11 million for all the ones using the billing API. So congratulations, guys, because that's all of your money, right? So now, Gary is going to talk to you about all the different ways you can charge merchants. Gary?
Thanks, Jerome. So I've used Shopify's APIs before. You might be familiar with the 2 ways we currently allow you to charge merchants. We have one-time charges for one-off fees and recurring charges for like monthly subscription billing. We're proud to announce the launch today of a new API called usage-based billing. It provides a pay-as-you-go component built on top of a regular recurring charge. So this means additional charges can be created anytime during the month. Let's dive into each of these options. So first up, one-time charges. Probably the most simple type of charge we have. It's great for setup fees, software downloads, additional support fees, or unlocking a new exciting feature in your application, several add-on packages. So I'm going to walk through an example of how you could use this in your application. And given this setup, we'll create a charge for a setup fee. So using Shopify's APIs, you create a charge specifying the name and the price. We'll give you back a return URL, which you must redirect the merchant to. This will display like an approval screen. It will display the price and any disclaimers that we have. So we might charge taxes on top. The merchant approves the charge, and we'll redirect them back to your application. So we recommend you take this opportunity to provide a success message, thank you, and any steps that they'll need to continue. So this might be a download link, installation, any other guides you might want to provide. Once the merchant has received the product or service, it's super important that you activate the charge. As Jerome mentioned earlier, it's on after activating the charge that you will get paid. Really don't forget. So just in a few simple steps, we've charged for our application and brought on a new customer to our app. Hopefully you'll see how easy it is to get started and how easy it is for the merchant. There's just one approval screen, and that's it. So the next type of charge we have is recurring charges. Great for monthly subscription services. Similar to one-time charges, they're customizable per merchant. This means you can provide different plans and different service levels for different merchants. There's no restrictions on the amount that it can be. We also allow you to set an optional trial period. It's a great way to let merchants get a real feel for your application, and we found that it really increases conversion rates. So in the same way as one-time charges, we create a charge using Shopify's API, specifying again the name, the price, and this time, any trial days we might want to offer. Merchant will be redirected to the approve screen. They'll see that now it's a monthly charge and the trial period. So this means they know exactly what they're approving and that it's going to be a recurring payment. So if you've provided any trial days, the trial will begin from the time that the charge is activated. At the end of this trial, the merchant will be billed and continue to be billed every month while the charge is active. This also means you get paid every time the recurring charge will be billed to the merchant, and on the invoice will then create a payment in your account, and this continues every month. If you're providing different plans, different services, we also allow you to do upgrades and downgrades anytime during the month, and we'll handle this completely for you. You don't have to do anything. Recurring charges are a great way to provide subscription services and different plans in your application, and give you a regular income for your business. It's a great way to have long-lasting relationships with your customers. So here we have usage billing, and this is our newest API that we're launching for Unite today. This opens up whole new ways to make money with Shopify, and whole new sets of businesses can exist. As you said earlier with the channel strategy, this is a great way to provide charges for as-you-go order processing fees. So what we built is a pay-as-you-go component on top of an existing recurring charge. This means when creating the charge, you can provide the terms of the charge. So in this example, $5 per agent. But this could be, as I said, order processing fees, transaction fees, or any time the merchant incurs a cost in your application. You also set a capped amount. This is the maximum amount of usage charges that can accumulate during the month. This means the merchant won't have any surprises on their invoice. They know exactly what they've agreed to up front. Similarly to recurring charges, once you redirect the merchant, they'll see if there's any monthly recurring charge that will be displayed, along with the terms and the maximum capped amount. Once activated, The merchant will be billed this recurring amount as usual, but now the difference is, at any point, you can create new usage charges. Anytime during the month, anytime a charge happens. These charges are rolled up at the end of the month and will be put on the next invoice. This balance obviously resets at the end of the month, allowing you to continue again for the next month. You may be thinking, but what happens if I'm reaching this capped amount midway through the month? Don't worry, we've got you covered. At any time during the month, if you see that they're doing really successful and making lots of sales and processing lots of orders, you can start a request to increase this capped amount. Similarly to creating the charges, you make the request, redirect the merchant to Shopify, where they can see this change and approve it. The capped amount will be changed immediately, and this means that they can continue using your application without any further delays. So those are just 3 ways you can start making money with Shopify right away, and hopefully you can build in new and exciting ways for all these new channels that you're going to create. And here's Nick to talk about how you can get started right away.
Thanks, Gary. So those are the 3 ways you can start making money with Shopify and charge your merchants in new and exciting ways. So when building your apps, you're going to make a lot of charges. Obviously, you don't want to be billed for all those tests. So we've made it really easy to create test charges. All you do is, when you create a recurring application charge or a one-time charge, include the test param and just set it to true. From then on, for that charge, Shopify will know this is a test. It's not going to be billed to the merchant. And so in your dev shop, you can just keep creating them as often as you want. And also, when you redirect to the approval page, you'll see there's a big red message that says, this is a test charge, you will not be billed. Remember though, turn off test mode before going live, because you do not want your merchants to be using test mode. Otherwise, you just won't make any money. So we've also built a demo app to make it quick and easy for you to get up and running with the billing API. In your store admin, you can interact with each type of charge, including the new usage-based charges. And by examining the underlying code in the demo app, you get a head start with integrating each of these into your apps. So let's jump into the demo now. When you load the demo for the first time, we asked for your My Shopify domain. Plug it in, click install, and you got the demo app in your shop. So with it in there, you now have options for creating each different types of charges: one-time, recurring, and usage charges. Since we're really excited about the usage charges, we'll click on that now. So since usage charges are billed alongside a recurring charge, we'll start by creating a recurring charge. And with that set up, we can see the details of the recurring charge in the demo app. It's $20 per month, $100 remaining for usage charges. And so let's charge for a pretend email campaign within the US. We fill in the price and description, click Create Charge, and it's all done. Immediately, we see 30 of the $100 has been used. And the remaining balance tells us that we can charge up to $70 more this month. And below that is a summary of the usage charges that we billed for this month, and the fields for adding another. So let's add one more, this time for an extravagant $50 email campaign within the UK. Click Create Charge, and we've used up almost all of the $100 for this month. So as Gary mentioned, sometimes the merchant will ask for a product or service that costs more than the remaining balance. When this happens, we've got you covered. You update the capped amount. And so this gives you, the app developer, the flexibility that you need to provide whatever products or services the merchant wants each month. And remember, this is customizable per month. So you can update the capped amount up or down as the merchant needs or as you need. So let's go ahead into the demo app, we'll just double it. Plug in $200. The merchant is asked to approve the increase. Again, since this is a demo, we can see this is a test charge, you will not be billed. And now, we're at $200, and there's plenty of room to add more usage charges for the awesome products and services that you guys are offering. So there you have it. That's how you can experiment with and integrate the new usage charges into your apps. We're really excited to see all the ways that you guys are going to profit from this. Jerome?
right, so yeah, all the documentation is right here. We'll take a few questions now. The three of us will be at office hours tomorrow, so sign up if you want to talk about billing. We can talk about it. After Unite, apps@shopify.com has your friendly developer advocate, partner manager, whoever they are. They're good resources. So yeah, they're here. Hey. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah.